First and foremost, how you guys doing? Hope y'all had a phenomenal weekend. It was obviously it was great to go out there and get a win. I thought it was an awesome collective team effort. I know we can be better in some areas on the defensive side of the ball, but how about Coach Lunny, right? Dialing up some. To get Hank Beatty to throw the football, I thought that was really impressive. Obviously, he can do everything, but it was exciting to go out there and just get the W. David Alano, incredible kick. I call him Golden Toe. I've been calling him Golden Toe since he got here, but him to go out there and nail that through, obviously, was a sigh of relief on the defensive side of the ball. But some things we got to be better in, some things we got to clean up, and really looking forward to going out there and playing for the Cannon this week versus Purdue.
So they came in average quite a few yards per carry on the ground. You guys stuffed them a little bit. What do you think the key was there?
Yeah, I think that, again, like I try to tell you, like just weekly, I know Lincoln Riley's an incredible play caller. I knew they were going to get some yards, man. They are probably, I think they got a really good group of receivers and skill guys, but that quarterback, some of the balls that he threw was, I don't know if you can ask for a better ball. I think I got to do a better job putting the guys in some positions to try to go up and get something. But he threw some balls that were like absolutely ridiculous. But the mentality for us is, I think if we can go into a game and stop the run and try to make a team throw the ball, although they did get some yards, I think we can give ourselves a chance to be successful. I know in this conference specifically, you have to be able to try to run the football. And, I knew I wasn't going to be able to stop him for the whole game, but I just wanted to limit his explosives. I thought that their running backs are really scary. And so I was trying to keep it in front of us, right? I was fine giving up yards. I thought we did a good job in the first half. We played way too many plays to my liking. Obviously, got to get off the field on third down. But I thought overall, just collectively, we missed probably 3 more tackles than I would like. We had 12 missed tackles. But what I will say is the guys made up for that, because as soon as they missed one, right, another guy was coming in and flying in, and obviously it always helps to have some takeaways. So I thought we did a pretty good job at trying to just avoid the explosives in the run game, right, which could open up a whole nother can of worms and then throwing the ball down the field.
Aaron, obviously they have really good players. They made some good plays, but those third and longs, 4th downs, I'm sure that's what you were focused on. What's the key to winning some of those battles?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, winning some of those battles, right, I think it starts up front with the pass rush, right? Couple of those throws, he just extended them with his feet, which if you're in a zone cover, sometimes that zone could get distorted. And so we got to do some better. I have to do a better job in just creating some pictures up front, whether we get them to slide to one side and cut a guy free. But I got to do a better job up front and making sure I'm having a presentation of one thing and bringing something else. I think if you just show a bare front, you just show 4 down, they know how to block that relatively easy. But those are the heartbreaking ones, right? We had him 3rd and 16 a couple times, and it seems like he threw the ball in the perfect position for his guy to go up and make a play. Like those we have to get off the field on those. And the beauty about it is, right, to be able to show some of because we had some young guys get in the game, to show them, right, like this is why we got to get off the field. This is the importance of getting off the field on 3rd and this down and distance, right? Especially if we're talking about being a winning football program, because obviously it happened, right? You want to be able to teach through that moment and learn from those moments, but we're going to probably have some teams in some 3rd and long situations again, and you talk about winning a game, you got to be able to get off the field. So it was a great teaching tool and mechanism for them, right? But more so showing the guys, okay, like this is where you got to be on your drop. This is where your eyes got to go. Look at the quarterback's eyes and vision, even from the post player. And I have to do a better job, and I got to make sure our players understand what teams and some concepts they're giving us on those down and distances. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but during those down and distances, they were throwing to 2 guys, right? The tight end and Lemon. I knew Lemon was good, but he that dude's special, and I got to make sure that they understand that, especially our post defender.
Aaron, what cares younger guys you were playing in the secondary to support for range? Your impression of his impact on Saturday, and what has led him to getting more opportunities other than maybe Matt Bailey having an injury?
Yes, sir. Well, I think Sabor is a pretty cool story, right? Because I think in today's day and age, right, when young men don't play immediately or they face some adversity, the first thing I think they do is they either listen to outside noise, or they go back to where they're from and maybe they're listening to the people around them. But what I will say about Sabor is, right, he trusts in the plan and the vision that we have for him. And although he wasn't perfect on Saturday, him to go in there and make a couple of plays, I was really excited for him. But that opportunity had been waiting for Sabor. I was just really more so looking forward to him going and taking it. Obviously with Matt getting banged up a little bit, just this season and in general, I think in college football as a whole, I think the team that can stay the healthiest is going to be the team that has some success. And so Sabor's opportunity came, and I thought he handled it relatively well. And guess what? It's going to be more opportunities for more guys that probably aren't playing as much. And my message to our team last week, coming off the heels of the Indiana game, going into this game, like I truly believe I thought we galvanized them, and I thought that their mindset and their work ethic and just their intention of what we were trying to get done, I thought they responded to it really, really well. It wasn't a perfect game. We got some stuff we got to clean up. But in my opinion, I think that you can teach anybody football. I think teaching football is really easy. When you talk about being a coach, I think being a coach is taking a person, a young man, a individual, right, and maybe they're struggling in a certain area, and you're getting them to get through that struggle so that they can be better on the opposite side of that. And I think we got a building full of incredible coaches, not just football coaches, but life coaches. And I thought it showed last week in how those guys prepped and how they went out there and played.
There were a couple of plays where defensively it looked like just some confusion and getting lined up. What operationally can you guys do, especially if you have younger players in the secondary, to clean that up a little bit?
Yeah, it was in combo with that, right? Like it was just some communication things that I don't think our signalers heard the call. Therefore, we couldn't get them to call. That is strictly on me. That's something I addressed with the staff yesterday, and I addressed with the defense that obviously we have to be a lot better in that regard. But teams are gonna obviously give us tempo. Teams gave us tempo all year, right? And we hadn't had no problem with it until the other day. So that's something that I addressed with our staff. We're going to be better at it. We will be better at it, but it won't be an issue moving forward.
What carries over? I know it's new staff, but what carries over from Purdue offensively from last year to this year, if anything?
Well, first and foremost, I think Barry Odom has done a tremendous job. Right, I tip my hat to him. I've been able to watch Coach Odom do some really incredible things at UNLV and when he was at Arkansas as a DC and his time at Missouri. I think Coach Henson, their offensive coordinator, I think he does a really good job in getting his playmakers the ball. Devin Mockabee is a freak show, in my opinion. I think that kid is going to play on Sunday as well as Mr. Ryan Brown. Right, Ryan is. I think he does a really good job in running that offense and controlling that offense. They got some really special receivers on the outside, man. We obviously got our hands full, and we're playing for the cannon, so I think that's super important. But I think the carryover is not so much, in my opinion, from last year. I think the carryover is more so from this past weekend, right? Coach Henson was obviously at USC, okay, and so I think there's going to be a lot of carryover, whether it is or isn't. I think it's going to be a lot of carryover from what Coach Riley did to what I think Coach Henson is probably going to do and what Coach Riley found success in. But I think at the end of the day, we have to play our brand of football, right? We got to make sure we continue to focus on trying to take the ball away, right? Limit the explosives, be really, really good tacklers, right? And more importantly, stop the run or minimize the run game. They got to, Mockabee, he's different, right? He's different. He can make some guys look silly in space. We got to make sure we got to do the best we can to keep our eyes and vision on that guy, to keep him bottled up. And then on the outside, right, they got receivers that can take the top off. And on top of that, with Ryan Brown being able to scramble a little bit, that creates a whole nother set of issues that obviously we had on Saturday that we had to get addressed. It's one thing being able to get to the quarterback. It's another thing being able to tackle them once you get to them. So this week we're going to tweak some of our things in terms of our preparation for our opponent, and some of the things that they do in terms of our practice in regards to defensively, right, with some of our circuits. We're going to tweak some of our circuits. But I think more importantly, this is a really, really good football team. On top of it being a rivalry game, I think you can eliminate the records and albeit and everything that comes with it. You got to focus on your opponent at hand, because I can promise you it's gonna be live out there in West Lafayette at Purdue, right? You're gonna have a live atmosphere, and we got to make sure we're prepared and ready for it.
Juice Clark finally got on the field this year. What is it about him where you feel good about throwing him right out there in the starting lineup his first game back?
Well, just from a comfort level, from a play calling standpoint, I know that's a dude that just in coverage, he's just so good, right? Like this was probably the least amount of man I've ever called in a game, right? And when I did call it, he had nice tight coverage, and just from, I mean, that's an experienced guy, played a lot of ball. You know that a guy with that skill set, him being able to come back, he played 80 snaps. He was one of our defensive MVPs. Thought he had a really good game and done some things really well. Obviously got some stuff to clean up with him, but it's just a level of comfort when you have experience out there. And I think it helps us, not just helps us from my standpoint, but I think it helps the guys around him, right? When you know you got a guy on one side of the field that's gonna do his thing and hold it down over there. And so I think it's just a calming presence to the whole defense when you got a cat of that caliber on the outside.
What is this Purdue rivalry? What do you think it means to the program? I think you said last year you recruit against them, or they're only 90 minutes apart. Just how do you kind of view this Purdue rivalry?
Well, I think it means everything to this program, right? You stated it, just from a recruiting standpoint, close proximity, right? Two Big Ten teams. I think you got two like-minded head coaches. I mean, you're talking about being 90 miles away from each other. I think about rivalries in high school when you're relatively close. Well, I think historically, right? Like you want to be able to not just play this game, but win this game, right? For the sake of the area, for the sake of recruiting purposes, probably even that much more important. But I truly believe, right, when you get two Big Ten teams of this caliber, right, and you're playing a game like this, it's truly going to boil down to who can stick to what they do well, right? And obviously, as from a defense standpoint, we have to be able to eliminate some of those things, but it means so much. I mean, obviously, a couple of years ago, we lost some recruits to them. They've lost some recruits to us, and I just think it really, really helps in that facet when you're talking about building longevity for a program and sustaining success, right? Like playing teams that are in close proximity, that are really good teams, that are in this conference. I think it's important that you try to establish those, and more importantly, you try to win them.
You said this is the least man coverage you've called. I know that's what you guys' identity was a couple of years ago. So what's that evolution been like, and what's that caused you to do as a play caller and defense?
It's caused me to tweak some things, right? It's caused me to look at some things different, right? It's caused me to try to find intricate ways to create some coverage issues for quarterbacks, whether it's changing the picture post snap or bringing a little more pressure. But it's fun and exciting because this is, I mean, I've as a play call, it's the least amount I've called it. But as a historically a DB coach, right? Like I've been in systems where all we played was zone coverage, and obviously I think you have to be able to have a really good balance between both of those, especially in today's day and age. But them dudes are really, really good on the outside, man. And just got to be able to limit them. Got to be able to limit them, limit some of the explosives, right? And moving forward, right, Purdue has some really special players on the outside as well that we'll have to be able to do the same thing. So I think it's going to be a really good battle, and I'm really excited about it.
Playing that zone coverage seems like your middle linebacker getting a pretty deep drop, and you got the interception. What does Dylan mean to that when you play that kind of scheme?
Yeah, well, funny enough, I think it's the first time our backers have had an interception in I don't know how long, but it was very, very exciting to see. I make fun of the inside backers all the time, and I give Coach Archie a hard time because he can't throw at all. And I'm like, well, that's probably why they're dropping the ball, and I give him a hard time. And to see Dilly make that play, Coach Archie kind of gave it back to me a little bit. It was so funny, but just to see him execute his job and do what he's supposed to do. I mean, that's all that was. Dylan Rosiak was doing what he was coached to do. He executed the task at hand, and because of that, he was in the right place, and his number was called, and he made the play, right? Like Coach always tells me, right, football's a really, really easy game. What's funny is before Dylan got that pick, I called that same play like 6 times in a row. Literally called that same defensive play 6 times in a row, right? And part of the reason was because they were giving me a look that I felt was advantageous for that play call, and right, he ended up throwing the ball, and it ended up working out in our favor, and Dilly made a play. I think at the end of the day, right, like when opportunities come for our players, right, you got to be able to. You talk about being able to win a game and take over a game. You have to be able to make those plays if you want to be successful. If you want to beat really, really good teams when your number's called.